Very nice. Welcome everybody. My name is Marco Antonio Spaventi. I'm a mixing, mastering engineer and music producer. I would like to welcome you tonight in my studio to show you a great feature of a plugin that I get to use a lot more since I discovered it. This plugin is called Leapwing StageOne for Leapwing Audio. In particular, this is the version 2 of the plugin, so Leapwing StageOne 2. Compared to version 1 of the plugin, there's a couple of massive improvements, massive new features. The first being the most obvious one. Now the plugin works with 3 different bands of operation, so you got a crossover to split in between low, mids, and highs. Version 1 of the plugin only had 1 band, so full band. And next to the usual width, depth, mono spread, and center gravity controls, there's a new function called phase recovery. And I find it very useful and very effective. So what does the plugin do? The plugin gives you control over the sense of depth, width, and mono stereo. I would call it feeling, because it's not like an MS plugin or a pan pot. This is deeper. This is more elaborate. It will give you width control over how the perception of how wide the program material is. It will give you depth control over how much 3D depth you have in your program material. It will give you mono spread control, which is a way to up-mix mono into stereo. It will give you center gravity, which is the sort of, like overall center imaging where it's going to move in the stereo field. And last but not least, which is the function that I want to talk about, it gives you phase recovery per band. It will analyze the signal and understand per band when the signal goes out of phase between left and right. And when that happens, it will correct it to prevent it. And why is it important and why is it definitely useful? Well, first thing, we generally don't like left and right phase offset. So when the signal goes out of phase between left and right, it creates a shift, and the whole perception of the localization of the signal is not anymore clear from the front of you, from the speakers. It kind of moves around. Now, it could be a cool feature, indeed, it can be used, but what about you have it and you do not want it, so you want to prevent it? Phase recovery function in StageOne does this. It will understand when this happens and corrects it to restore the correct presentation of the signal, or at least a presentation of the signal that it's not out of phase between left and right. So I've got an example here where this effect is very apparent, because this also happens a lot when you use delays. And this is a particular example where you have a string sound and then it goes into a delay effect, and delay effect is actually left and right out of phase. So you will have a part of the signal that's the dry that stays there in front of you, and the tail of the delay that moves around you in a very particular way. I'm not saying that it's good or bad, it's just a certain specific effect. Okay, so let's play the example. First of all, I'm going to play the example without StageOne on, so in bypass, turn it off, and focus with me. There you go, and move. Now with the plugin on. So you had the direct sound coming to you in front, and then the delay will sort of move it and tilt it so it moves around you. With the plugin on, it stays there and it still retains the stereo information, so it's still a stereo sound, but it's more under control, I would say. Good or bad thing, doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have it as a tool, so you can use it. I also want to show you how this is very important in terms of mono compatibility. So I'm going to play the same example now with the utility plugin that follows StageOne, set to mono, so it will turn this channel into mono, and listen with me. When you sum to mono, left and right, if there is out of phase information, this will represent an interference between left and right that we call destructive interference, because you lose energy, the sound gets poorer. It feels like it's sinking in. Now listen to the same example with the mono plugin on and the StageOne 2 on, and check it out. And you have it, and it stays. This is fantastic because you normally wouldn't listen in mono, but if you do, you got a better, mix result. Moreover, it really gives you the feeling of keeping the sound in place, in between the speakers. It doesn't move around you like that. So let's play the example a little bit more. It's just very nice. Plug it on. I find it a great feature. Why? Because it's easy to use. It leads to excellent results. It guarantees mono compatibility, and overall it sounds great. It's like, the algorithm is very well done. So check it out. Phase recovery function in Leapwing StageOne version 2. I hope you enjoyed this tip, and I will see you soon for other videos.